It's just a, so I can ask you just to stand in that corner, just a little bit there. Okay, perfect. If you like to lie face down for me, please.
Okay, let me take this off
Yeah,
because
sure.
I'm menopausal, so that's the other thing. But not that that's an issue, but
Yeah.
so face down.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yeah. Get yourself nice and comfy.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm just doing a little bit of a warm up into the posterior chain there. So can you talk me through what it is you do work-wise? Do you teach a bit of yoga yourself?
I do teach a bit of yoga, but my main job is that I'm a psychotherapist.
Oh, fantastic.
For the NHS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I also do teach a yin and mindfulness class on a Sunday, and yeah, I just do some mindfulness for the NHS. I do psychotherapy for the NHS.
Oh, fantastic.
But, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
So things can get really locked and stiff.
Yeah, you can certainly feel that up top there for sure. Oh, it's just a little bit sticky in there.
Yeah,
just under that
normally I really
scapula.
have really open shoulders and stuff, but it's just really, whatever happened, just really locked everything down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also on an emotional level. I mean, you'll know more about this than me, but I think sometimes if you're listening to other people's problems, and sometimes you can almost psychologically almost feel that discomfort that they're going through, and you're living it with them as well, and sometimes that happens in your own body as well. where do you teach your classes?
I teach my yin class in Beckenham.
Okay.
Yeah, so in a beautiful place. It's Beckenham Park Palace.
Oh, lovely.
But right in the middle, it's just really lovely. It's a really nice venue.
Oh,
But very community based though, even though it's a massive house, it's all community. So.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds good.
Yeah. I've just started it. I only started it about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
No, once people start to know about it.
Yeah. But I'm not very good at all of that social media stuff, so it's only.
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to. I mean, do you have a website or anything?
Yeah, well, not yet, but I am going to get one. I do have Facebook and stuff, but apparently people don't use Facebook anymore in the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's still worth doing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the thing as well, because some things you just don't realise how long they're going to last. Because at one point, like, Snapchat was the thing.
Yeah, that's right.
And now people aren't using Snapchat as much.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think, I mean, for me, in my personal opinion, I think YouTube is like the way to go.
Yeah.
Only because it's like it's something that there's a videos that can last anything up to it's limitless really how much information you can put up on there. Okay, that's great. If you want to turn around, please, and lie on your back, please. Okay, so some of the stuff that I'm doing on your legs here is going to start affecting your lower back as well when I start to loosen up the area a bit.
all works with the hips and stuff.
Yeah. I'm just going to stretch this calf out. Yeah, just say when.
Yeah. Yeah.
About there.
Yeah. Yeah, my calves are so tight. I have knee issues. Like I had a cruciate ligament reconstruction on this knee, but like years ago.
Yeah.
20 something years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But so the calves get quite tight.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. I think all the muscles all around it, just trying to
yeah.
overly work for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I mean, you can also use this as well on your own website. What we're filming
Oh,
here.
okay. Oh.
Yeah. So you can just say I'm having yoga applied on me.
Yeah.
You know. So I have this on here.
And do you work with the meridians as well in Thai massage?
Yeah.
Is that what you
If you just like to work with meridians, although the Thai meridians are different from the Chinese ones.
Ah, okay, all right.
Yeah. Although they're actually, funny enough, have you heard of myofascial trains and stuff? Yeah. The Thai ones are sort of look a lot more like the modern day myofascial,
Okay, all right.
which I think is quite amazing. Considering if it is the case, then they're onto
how
something
far, absolutely. Yeah, way ahead of time. Yeah, and things just get regurgitated, but just put new spins on things and different science, I guess. But.
Yeah. Oh, is it the scarring here?
Yeah, can you see through the tights? Yeah, now I think they've got a little bit more, maybe a little bit gentler with the scarring. I think sometimes they do it on the back of the knee, which would have been better.
Yeah, well, I find the more recent the operation, the smaller the scar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've had a disc herniation operation on my L5. And there's a 6-inch scar down my back.
Yeah.
The thing is, I saw somebody who had it done about 6 months ago, and it's tiny, it's like a centimetre.
Yeah. They refine it, don't they?
Yeah.
This thigh feels tenderer than the other one.
think it's amazing. You're teaching mindfulness inside the NHS.
That's been going for a while. That has. So we do staff and patients.
Yeah.
So it's mental health I work in stuff. So so every staff get free. They get patients get it, and then staff can have that free as well. Okay. Do the 8-week course. Well, it's 8. It's more like 10 for patients. But
Where do you do your yin yoga teaching?
I do it with. I'm still doing it with Sarah Powell's. Okay, but she's kind of everywhere, and so she's not really static. And and some of her, so she does a lot herself in different countries. Yeah. But also she farms out some of the training to other people like Paul Grilly and there's a few other people around.
Yeah. There's one woman I'm checking out at the moment, Jo Fee. I don't know if you know.
Yeah. So if we don't do our training with particular people, she's one of them. Okay. Yeah, that we can do that with. Yeah.
I quite like how she's really going in a bit more detail in terms of the acupoints, meridians, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Because I think with yin, you can almost find your groove with that. So I do more mindfulness and psycho-spiritual stuff, and other people do much more of the organs, organ health, and like different people kind of.
Find their own
and how to use it and stuff. But,
You know what I found quite interesting with Jo is that she's I think she's doing like a postgraduate sort of things on there's a therapy you might have heard called gua sha.
No,
it's like scraping therapy. So it's like a relative of cupping therapy.
Okay.
So you can stick the cup on and slide it. Yeah. There's a tool that you can use. So the Chinese use like a soup spoon or something. And you can slide it and this brings up like how cupping brings up a red mark.
Yeah.
It does a sort of similar sort of thing. I mean, not exactly the same thing, but it produces quite similar results as well. Yeah, I know when you're in that zone, right?
Oh my goodness.
Just to the other side.
You don't even know where, I felt a lot of stiffness the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But not even, I didn't even want to move, really. Oh my God. I can really, With the menopause, it's so easy for my energy to get locked down, I do and then suddenly it's like, but I can feel how it gets stuck in my body. In the different places.
Yeah, I think yin yoga would be like one of the ideal things to be doing. Yeah. It's a very sort of cooling practice.
Yes.
Do they cover things like food? Because I think because I studied Chinese medicine as well. I studied acupuncture and I'm qualified as tweener practitioner. Okay, so I'm thinking to myself probably eating more sort of cooling type foods.
Yeah, I had something done recently, but because I couldn't locate the birthday. But for sure. Yeah, and the woman Sarah does some of that about different bits about food, and then she'll tell you which people to go off and see as well. Yeah. If you've got other issues going on in the body and things.
Right, that's great. So I'm going to do a little bit in the seated position. I'm going to ask you to sit to lie back down your back. So I'm going to ask you to do now. If you like to roll on your side, come and sit in a comfortable seated upright posture, facing this way here.
This way, okay.
So is it any particular form of psychotherapy that you do?
Yeah, well I do psychoanalytics, so going back into people's, kind of childhoods and people's kind of relationships and kind of habitual conditioning and that sort of stuff. But I also do something called IFS, which is internal family systems, which has a bit more of a spiritual kind of component to it. But but it's kind of the same. It's more relational stuff. But where people are kind of really stuck in relationships or can't quite get out of particular habits or ways of thinking. Yeah. But it's long term as well, so it's not all short term stuff.
Yeah, this will help to relieve a lot of heat in the head here, from especially in the evenings.
Can you feel the tightness, or does it just not? Yeah.
so it's worth like looking as well, like on certain foods as well. Like, so I think like more cooling foods. So those are the more sort of green foods to look into. I think tofu is meant to be more yin for me because as as we get older, we become more yin deficient. Yes, and so yin is cooling, yang is like is warming or hot.
Yeah.
And so once we become yin deficient, those are some of the symptoms that we experience. And yin is more of a material sort of substance as well.
Okay. So greens and green juices.
Yeah, I'd say some of that, and other things that when they come to spring to mind are.
That side, like just so much stiffer. So how did you meet Heather then?
This first time I met her, there was just somebody. Well, I think one of her students said that she was looking for somebody to do some work today, and I put my name forward.
She's a really good person to link into.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going into all the upper back here. It's a bit stretched there to the serratus anterior.
Oh.
So if I'm looking at this from the TCM perspective, these are like some of the bladder points here at the top.
Okay. They're not comfortable like that. I feel that what you were just doing there, I could really feel, just how tense that is.
Are you feeling at the front of the shoulder, the back?
It was here, down,
okay. Yeah, certainly. Well, it's a good job, you being a yoga teacher as well. But it's getting to that point where you could, if you're still getting like a lot of stiffness in there, there's a potential there for frozen shoulder.
Yes.
You know what the nickname for frozen shoulder is? Only 50 shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, 50s.
Yeah. I'm not even going to ask if you're there.
Well, I am. I'm almost 54. So
okay.
So like, I don't want that. Blimey.
Right. Okay, if I can get you to interlace your fingers behind your head. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Good, breathe in, breathe out. Good, and again inhale and exhale. Good, interlace your fingers, good, turn your hands up towards the ceiling, good. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, breathe in, breathe out. And again, inhale and exhale. Good. Keep your hands behind your head here. That's good. Okay, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a twist here. Good. Take a deep inhale and exhale. So the nose have to bend forwards. Take it. Good. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Okay, that's good. Okay, take a deep inhale and exhale. Tilt to the side. And to the other side. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. That's great. Let's sit up for me, please. That's great. And if you pass me your arms behind, yep, that's good. You can grab my wrists. Yep, that's it. Just give you a bit of a chest opener there. And come to lie on your back, please. Just come lie straight down. Yeah, just give you a pillow. So I save this bit to last, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so for sure, please send me a link to your website. Or
Oh
what I can
yeah.
do is I'll email over this this clip onto your over to you. Or what I'll do is I can also include a link to your website onto my my YouTube. Yeah.
I haven't got a website yet, so but
Yeah, I would have thought. I mean, just like even just a brief few minutes I've seen her in action, I would have thought she'd be like on your cases to do all that sort of thing.
yeah, well, she does so much. She's got like 2 cohorts, 2 groups of students going at the same time.
Oh wow.
So like each one's got like 35 in each. So
yeah.
No. She's very busy.
Yeah. And how long is I know it's a 500-hour course. I mean, how long would it?
Well, it takes about 2 years to complete.
Yeah.
So it's like 15 modules, 14 modules over 18 months.
Yeah.
And you've got to write a big essay, like exams, and you write a big essay, and then you have to do some case studies. So by the time all that's done, it really is 2 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Where are you based?
I'm based in Wembley.
Oh my god.
But I've
mobile.
Yeah, I'm quite mobile. I work in several different places. You know, I get around.
Oh, like clinics and stuff, or,
Yeah.
or centres.
Yeah, I mean the main clinic I work in is in Teddington, which is like southwest.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, it's not. I mean, this is what SW2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like It's a TW postcode.
Oh god. Okay.
So it's not like. I mean, it's not a million miles away.
No.
So these 2 points here are really important in the sort of work that I do. It's like it's one of those go-to points as well that acupuncturists use. Yeah, I'll leave you to enjoy it. So.
That's good.
Just take this moment just to relax and get up in your own time.
Thank you.
That's all.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
Well, the ladies are all going to come in soon. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So what I would suggest.
Do you have a card?
Yeah,
oh, I was going to send you.
I've definitely got a card. Oh, as we're seeing, as we're still filming. Do you want to tell us where your classes are as well, and how we can get in touch with you?
Okay,
Yeah.
so the class that I run is mindfulness and inner practices in Yin Yoga.
Yeah.
So the studio that I work in is Kooks, Kooks, which is in Beckenham. So if you just go on the internet and put in Kooks Yoga, it will come up. And I run a Sunday morning class very early.
Yeah, fantastic. And you're obviously a very accomplished yoga teacher, because where were you trained?
I was trained at the Minded Institute with Heather Mason.
Okay,
Brilliant.
So
Thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you.
Sawadika and
Brilliant. You're so cool.
well, you're pretty cool too.
See you.
Bye now.
Bye.